If you don't ask, the answer is no. I've been saying this for years, and today I want to give you three examples from my own life very recently of how I asked for what I wanted. I ended up receiving it, and that it was a win-win for everybody involved. And these are all experiences that I had while running for Maxim Cover Girl 2025. So, a little quick backstory. I have, hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I was born in 1966. I'm Elizabeth from Happy, Healthy, and Hot. I'm a 59-year-old, double certified health and weight loss coach, author, content creator, and now three-time finalist in the Maxim Cover Girl competition. You can see one of my prize boxes, little goodie box from recently in the background there. In my 50s, competing with women mostly in their 20s and 30s because I believe it's time to tell a new story about aging. So I want to share three things that happened this year as I was running for Maxim Cover Girl. Out of over 50,000 women that entered, I made it all the way based on votes, based on public votes, to the interview process, which was just a few dozen women that interviewed. No, I did not make it all the way to the cover. There were three women that were selected to be in the magazine. One of them will be in the cover out of this group. But I am so incredibly honored by how far I made it. And again, I didn't make it to the cover, but I did indeed win because this has just been such an amazing opportunity. So I'm going to share three experiences I had, and there are many more, where I asked for what I wanted. So the first one that I get asked about so much is my Bentley photo shoot. I have some amazing pictures that were taken at a Bentley dealership. And people say, wow, how'd you get that? I asked. It wasn't that I was thinking, oh boy, I really want to have a photo shoot at a Bentley dealership, but I was very open to opportunities to do things that were different and creative. And because I like to keep an eye on my community and know who is in my community, and it's not just about numbers. Every single new Instagram follower is a person. I saw that I had a new follower who happened to be the manager of the Bentley dealership in Washington, D.C., just a few hours from me. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, thanks for the follow. Chat a little bit. I was like, let me ask you a question. What if I wanted to take pictures there? Well, he checked with Bentley. And we got a yes. He opened up the dealership for me on a Sunday to take pictures so that nobody would be in the way. I think he was expecting me to come with some big crew. The crew was me and my daughter, an iPhone and a tripod and a clicker, and I brought a couple changes of clothes and bikinis. And we had the time of our lives. We felt so welcomed. We learned all about Bentleys, which was amazing. I got some amazing pictures, amazing bonding time with my daughter, and a new connection with many at the Washington, D.C. Bentley and Aston Martin dealership. He was amazing. Also, of course, with everything that I do when I'm asking, I want everything to be a win-win. So I said to Mehdi, I'm going to give you lots of shout outs. I'm going to share in my stories. I'm going to be, every time I post these pictures, I'm going to be tagging you. I want to send people your way. We had a fabulous time. It was truly a magical, memorable experience that I never would have had if I didn't ask. And this was a win-win. I had beautiful pictures for my Maxim portfolio, for my social media. I was able to give shout outs to this fabulous dealership. I'm blown away by the craftsmanship, the service, everything. I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. So that was something that I asked for. Also, I had some local news coverage. Once I made it to the semifinals, I reached out to my local, everyone said, oh, how'd you get on the news? I asked. I reached out, and it took a couple emails and a couple people to talk to, but I was like, look, a 58-year-old woman making it to the semifinals of a nationwide, like a modeling competition with women in there, much younger women. I was like, this is news. This is news. And I said on my interview, I said, this isn't this isn't just a message. This is a movement about it's time to tell a new story about aging because that is what I believe. And it's about so much more than being on the cover of a magazine or looking amazing in a bikini, although those things are amazing. I don't know about the magazine yet. I'm not on a magazine cover yet. Um, but it's also it's about waking up, feeling strong, confident, energized, excited about what life has in store for you. As I shared this journey, it wasn't just to inspire people to enter a modeling competition, although that's great. If I inspired that, it was to inspire people to rethink aging, to stop looking at it as slowing them down and start looking at it as like this whole new phase where we get to claim what we want, where we get to be who we want to be. So again, I asked, they gave me the yes, and then said, "Hey, can you come down at this time?" I mean, it was pretty quick, but here's the thing, I'm always ready. That's an intention that I set for myself several years ago, that I would always be ready for an interview, a photo shoot, an adventure, an opportunity. So I'm at a moment's notice. I'm ready. I take care of myself. It's general maintenance that I do that I'm not like, oh, now I'm going to be on the news. I have to be prepared. I know what my story is. I'm being myself. Same thing with the photo shoot. Yes, I love when I created my own photo shoot in New York and I hired a professional makeup artist, professional photography. Did I love the glam and the preparation? Absolutely. But I'm always photo shoot ready. I take care of myself. I've learned my angles. I've learned how to take my own pictures. I've learned how to ask people to take pictures for me and teach them how to do sweeps and different things like that. I I watched videos. I've used tutorials. I made myself always ready. My teeth are always white. My skin's always taken care of. So I was ready, not just looks wise. I was ready with my message. I went down to the news station and knocked their socks off, and they created a 45-second piece that like I couldn't have asked for anything better. But I asked for it, and this was again a win-win. Did it help me with some promotion, with some press, with getting the word out there about Maxim Cover Girl and asking people to vote for me? Absolutely. But it was also an amazing news piece that inspired everybody who watched it. And it was so much fun to just be out in the community and people say, I saw you on the news. And who kind of didn't maybe know that side of me. And then I'd say, oh my gosh, well, thank you. And I hope you vote for me. So then let's talk about this. People say, how did you get so many votes? Oh, well, you have a big social media following. If you just go on social media and say, please vote for me, that's not really doesn't mean anything. I personally reached out to my audience. I reached out to people personally in my community. I created a QR code, had a friend print it up for me with pictures, and I passed them out everywhere I went. I'm riding on the train. I'm asking the conductor to vote for me for Maxim Cover Girl. I'm asking the person sitting next to me. I'm talking to people at the train station. I pass them out to my neighbors. I work one day a week as a server in an Italian restaurant. I carried those in my apron. If I've gotten a conversation with a customer, I ask them to vote for me. I went live pretty much every single day on Instagram, asking people to vote. I chatted up in the DMs with people. Every new follower, I happened to, that's how I found out this guy who was from the Bentley dealership. I reached out to, I introduced myself. By the way, I've entered the Maxim Cover Girl competition. They voted for me. How was this a win-win? Well, I was the one that wanted to win the cover, but everybody is winning. Then when they heard my story, I didn't just say, please vote. I said, please vote for me because I have a message that I want to share with the world. I want to get this message out there. So again, I didn't get on the cover, but I won. I made new friends literally all over the world who were voting for. I had a woman in Ireland, we're still in touch, who said, I have never rooted so hard for somebody that I've never met from across the pond. I love that saying. I had a woman voting for me the first time I ran in 2020. Her name is Viv. Where does she live? The Philippines. Is it the Philippines? So She voted for me every day. She asked her family to vote. She shared this on her Facebook and she did it every single time I ran. I had old friends supporting me. My boyfriend from 1985, like he and his wife were voting for me. College friends are spreading the word. High school friends. And you know what else? I had people that I thought would have supported me and didn't. And I had to be okay with that too. That was a win. Learning to accept that graciously, learning not to hang on to any resentment, knowing that's their own thing, but being so grateful for all of these people who were supporting me. So, if you don't ask, the answer is no. Sometimes you're going to ask and the answer is no. And that's okay too. But the next ask is it just might be a yes. It never hurts. And again, there's this magic that as you start standing up for yourself, not this isn't standing up for yourself like defensively, as you start asking for what you want, as you start believing in yourself, as you start being more passionate, you get more confident. I got better at telling my story. More opportunities will come your way, more than you can ever imagine. So maybe it's just like when you take a health journey and you maybe have this goal of a number on the scale, but it ends up the journey becomes so much bigger than that because you just discover confidence, resilience, this belief in yourself. So ask for what you want. If you don't ask, the answer is no, and start believing that everything gets to be a win-win. It's not that you're taking something, you're not getting something from somebody. Everybody's winning. Asking this Bentley dealership was, yes, a huge win for me getting these beautiful photos, but I promoted them. It was an amazing opportunity. It was amazing memories with my daughter. All of it was incredible. Asking the local news was so great for me to have that coverage and again to build my confidence in using my voice in speaking. But also, I inspired so many people that I will never hear from that saw that story. Because the last word of that interview was, and Elizabeth wants you to know, and I'm going to tear up here, it's never too late to create a beautiful life for yourself. Yes, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I get emotional. I cry when I share this stuff because I'm so, so, so passionate about it. And then when I got up and asked people to vote for me, when I was asking every day, it wasn't just about, please vote for me so I can win this. It was about, please vote if my message speaks to you, if this resonates, if you believe that women of all ages deserve to be seen, deserve to be heard, deserve to be admired, if you believe that me sharing my story with more people will make a difference, if this means something to you, then please vote. And if it really means something to you, could you please share this? Maybe ask one friend to vote. Maybe share it with your audience. There was one man, Carlos, out in California, who I had a larger size made of the QR code. He had that hanging at the cash register of his auto tinting shop, his auto glass tinting shop, exclusive tinting, and asked his customers to vote for me. I didn't ask him to do that, but he believed in my message. And there were so many other people doing that for me. My friend Danny asking his friends, he lost 20 pounds using my cookbooks and he believes in my message. He was asking his cousins, friends, coworkers. He was asking everybody to vote. This is how we change the world. And I'm not a big quote person, but there was a quote that spoke to me many years ago. And it's a really old one. It's from Wallace Wattles. It's the book, The Science of Getting Rich, which in my opinion is much better than Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And it is about so much more than money. It's about having a rich life. And here's the quote. The best thing you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself. So when you're asking for what you want, when you're advocating for yourself, when you're asking for these things that are going to help you get bigger and brighter and bolder, that is the best thing you can do for the whole world. Because when you're shining your light, it is going to illuminate the path for others. Might be a little bright for some people. Some people are going to say things you don't like. Some people are going to question it. Some people are going to call you names, tell you you're cringe. That's okay. Keep shining anyway. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this content here on YouTube, I would be so honored if you would subscribe, share any videos that speak to you. This is a very small platform of mine, but I'm passionate about it. It gives me the opportunity to share some longer form content, speak from my heart, share real information that you can take and run with. So thank you for being here. And remember, the best thing you can do for the whole world is to make the most of yourself.